She left you, and right now it feels like the world just cracked in half. Your chest feels heavy, your mind won't stop spinning, and every memory of her plays on loop like a cruel movie you can't pause. You wake up reaching for your phone, hoping maybe she texted, but nope. Silence. But listen to me. This moment right here, this pain that's clawing at your ribs, that's not punishment. That's awakening. Because when she walked away, she didn't just leave you, she freed you. She removed the illusion that you needed her to be whole. She stripped away your comfort, your emotional crutch, your dependency. And yes, it hurts. It burns. But what's being burned away is weakness. The Stoics taught that pain is the greatest teacher, that discomfort reveals what you're truly made of. And right now, the fire you feel, that's the forge. The version of you that's crying, overthinking, begging the universe for answers. He's being melted down so that a stronger, colder, calmer man can emerge. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle is the way." She leaving wasn't the end. It was the beginning of your transformation. Because the truth is, you don't become powerful through comfort. You don't evolve through being loved unconditionally. You evolve when life rips everything away and forces you to rebuild yourself from nothing. When she walked out, she unknowingly gave you the greatest opportunity of your life, the chance to become unrecognizable. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about making her jealous. This is about becoming the man who no longer needs her, or anyone. The man who wakes up one day, looks in the mirror, and doesn't see heartbreak anymore. He sees power. She left you. Good. Because now you get to meet the version of yourself you were too distracted to discover. You're not in mourning. You're in metamorphosis. This pain you feel now will one day be the foundation of your peace. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. My pain is my rebirth. Because, brother, that's exactly what it is. Now, let's begin. When a woman walks away, she doesn't just leave your life. She leaves behind a mirror. And in that mirror, you finally see everything you were blind to while you were chasing her. You see how much of yourself you gave away trying to keep her. You see how many times you ignored your intuition, how often you compromised your boundaries, how many nights you begged for her attention instead of demanding your own respect. That mirror doesn't lie. It shows you the man you became when you were afraid of losing her, reactive, emotional, dependent. But here's the truth. She didn't destroy you. She revealed you. Because when she left, what was exposed wasn't your heartbreak. It was your attachment. That's what hurts. Not her absence, but your addiction to being seen, validated, needed. And once you face that truth without denial or self-pity, you start the process of becoming a stoic man, the kind of man who no longer seeks mirrors outside himself. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." You can either see her leaving as an insult or as an initiation. Because every man who's ever become great, every disciplined, focused, unstoppable man went through a moment like this, a breaking, a separation, a stripping away of everything false. The heartbreak wasn't meant to end you. It was meant to expose your weakness, so you could refine it into strength. You start to notice something. She left you, but life didn't. You still have your body, your breath, your goals, your purpose. And slowly, you begin to see that her leaving wasn't rejection. It was redirection. Now the mirror reflects something new. It shows a man learning restraint, a man rebuilding discipline, a man whose silence has become louder than any plea for love. Because when she handed you that mirror, she gave you the rarest opportunity, the chance to finally see yourself clearly. And that sight, that awareness, that awakening, That's when the healing turns into transformation. When she left, your ego screamed. It told you that you weren't enough, that you failed, that she replaced you with someone better. It wanted answers, closure, validation, anything to keep its fragile sense of self alive. But the more you reached outward, the emptier you felt. That emptiness, that's the beginning of ego death. And though it feels like loss, it's liberation. Because everything that's dying right now, the need to be chosen, the need to be wanted, the need to feel seen, was never you. It was the mask you wore to earn love. It was the illusion that your worth depended on someone else's affection. When she walked away, she didn't break you. She peeled that mask off. This is the part of the journey most men fear, the collapse, the silence, the nights where you question your value. But this is also where the rebirth begins. It's where you learn that real strength isn't loud, it's quiet. It's not about chasing pleasure, it's about mastering pain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." This is where you finally understand what that means. You can't control who leaves, but you can control what rises in their absence. The Stoic man doesn't cling to the past. He alchemizes it. He turns rejection into clarity. He turns heartbreak into discipline. He turns loss into stillness. Every day you don't reach out, you strengthen your self-respect. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you're killing off the old self that begged to be loved and birthing the man who is love, grounded, calm, complete. And then something incredible happens. You stop thinking about how to get her back and start thinking about how to never lose yourself again. That's ego death. And it's the most sacred thing a man can experience. Because when the old you dies, the new you doesn't rise from her validation. He rises from his own ashes. At some point, you have to stop begging for what you've already outgrown. You've cried, you've replayed the story 1,000 times, you've imagined every outcome. And still, the truth remains. She left. That chapter is done. Now it's time to stop chasing what's beneath you. The man who chases is saying, "I don't trust the universe to bring me better." The man who walks away says, "I know my worth too deeply to keep negotiating it." You see, when you chase, you shrink. You bend your standards, you lose your mystery, you forget your mission. And every message you send, every attempt to prove your love, only teaches her one thing, that she can walk away and you'll still follow. But when you stop chasing, when you pull back all that energy, redirect it inward and go quiet, that's when the polarity reverses. Because she expects you to crumble, she expects you to text first. She expects you to orbit her life like a satellite. But the moment you say, nope, not out of anger, but self-respect, the world tilts. You shift from being the one who needs her to the one who's unreachable. Marcus Aurelius said, "You become what you give your attention to." So what are you becoming when all your attention is on someone who's no longer yours? You're feeding a ghost. You're watering a plant that's already dead. The Stoic path is to redirect that same passion into your evolution. Go to the gym, study philosophy, build something, create something. Every ounce of energy that once went into her, put it into your empire. Because one day you'll look back and realize her leaving wasn't the curse you thought it was divine intervention. She had to walk away so you could walk into your purpose. She had to let go so you could rise. And when you finally rise, with calm confidence, purpose in your eyes, peace in your stride, she'll feel it. She'll sense it in the silence. The energy she used to control will have evolved into something she'll never touch again. That's what happens when you stop chasing what's beneath you. You start attracting what aligns with you. Every man who's ever built himself into something great has one thing in common. He's been rejected. Not once, not twice, but deeply. And that rejection either broke him or rebuilt him. You're standing at that same crossroads right now. See, pain is raw energy. It's pure fuel. Most men waste it crying, venting, numbing. The Stoic man? He refines it. He doesn't suppress his pain. He uses it. Because rejection, when faced with discipline, becomes the purest motivation on earth. You think Marcus Aurelius never felt heartbreak? He did. He lost people he loved, buried children, saw betrayal firsthand. But instead of letting grief consume him, he transmuted it into wisdom, into strength, into calm so powerful that his enemies couldn't shake it. That's alchemy, turning the emotional lead of heartbreak into the gold of self-mastery. Right now, your pain wants to push you into weakness, to text her, to stalk her, to spiral into memories. But every time you say nope, you redirect that energy. Every time you feel the urge to chase, and you don't, your pain crystallizes into discipline. Every time you go to bed wanting to reach out but choose to work on yourself instead, that pain evolves into quiet strength. Because the truth is, pain never really goes away. It just changes shape. When you master it, it becomes fire, a flame that lights your purpose, your workouts, your mornings, your discipline. It becomes focus sharper than any heartbreak. The man who has suffered and stayed silent, not out of pride but peace, becomes magnetic. Because people feel it, that quiet intensity, that unexplainable calm. It's the look of a man who's been burned by love and came out forged in steel. Rejection is divine direction. It's the universe saying, you were never meant to stay small, just to be loved by someone who couldn't see your greatness. You don't heal by trying to get her back. You heal by becoming the man she could never reach again, even if she tried. So take that pain, lift with it, work with it, write with it, grow with it, turn it into art, muscle, wisdom, silence. That's what Stoics do. They don't cry about the fire. They become it. Now that the storm has hit, there's one weapon you must learn to wield like a sword: silence. Because silence isn't emptiness, brother. It's control. It's emotional authority. It's the moment you stop begging the world to understand you and start understanding yourself. When she left, she expected noise. She expected messages, reactions, desperation. She expected you to plead, to prove, to perform. But when you gave her silence instead, when you said nope, when you vanished into stillness, that's when the balance of power shifted. Your silence isn't weakness, it's restraint, it's dignity. It's proof that you no longer trade your peace for attention. Because when a man can master silence, he masters everything. The Stoics knew this truth long before social media, long before the dopamine traps. They believed that speech should serve a purpose, not emotion. That a man's value was seen not in his noise, but in his composure. Epictetus said, "Be silent for the most part, or if you speak, say only what is necessary." That's not just philosophy, that's strategy. When you stop explaining, defending, or trying to fix what broke, something incredible happens. Your energy begins to rebuild itself. Your mind stops bleeding attention. Your presence becomes heavy again, unignorable. She starts wondering, not because you're playing games, but because she feels that your silence means you're no longer emotionally available for chaos. You see, when you speak out of emotion, you leak power. But when you stay silent with composure, you store it. Every unread message, every unanswered call, every moment you sit in peace instead of chasing, that's self-mastery in action. And here's the twist. Silence isn't just about her, it's about everything. It's how you carry yourself in life. You stop reacting to every insult, every setback, every opinion. You let the world talk while you move. You build quietly. You heal privately. You evolve silently. Then, one day, you walk into a room and everyone can feel it. Something about you changed. That's the power of a man who replaced emotion with focus. Silence isn't absence. It's presence multiplied. It's how the Stoic man speaks now, not through words, but through energy. There's a point in every man's journey where the pain turns into fuel, and that's when the glow-up begins. Not the fake social media kind, the real one. The kind that doesn't come from showing off, but from finally shutting up and getting to work. You stop explaining your heartbreak. You stop checking who's watching your stories. You stop trying to prove you've moved on. Instead, you pour everything into yourself. You lift heavier, you sleep better, you eat cleaner, you start reading books that actually rewire your mind instead of scrolling through her old photos. You find peace in solitude, and that's when the glow begins. Because when you start focusing all that energy inward, your body changes, your face hardens, your eyes sharpen. People can sense it. That quiet confidence, that aura that says, "I've been through hell and I came back refined." You don't need to say a word. It radiates from you. The Stoic glow-up isn't about revenge. It's about resurrection. You're not trying to make her regret leaving. You're becoming the man she'll never replace, because no one can fake the kind of peace you now carry. You start walking differently, slower, grounded, deliberate. You stop over-explaining yourself. You laugh less, but when you do, it's genuine. You stop caring who likes you and start caring who respects you. And here's the beautiful paradox. The more detached you become, the more magnetic you get. Because most people are addicted to reaction. When you don't flinch, when you don't chase, when you don't care to be seen, that's when everyone starts watching. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's exactly what you're doing now. You've stopped talking about change. You've become it. She might see you one day, maybe in person, maybe online, and she'll feel it instantly, that you're no longer the same man she left. You didn't replace her, you replaced your weakness. You didn't seek closure, you became closure. Your eyes will say everything your silence never needed to. And in that moment, she'll understand. She didn't just lose you, she lost access to the energy that made her feel safe, seen, and desired. Because that energy? You redirected it back where it always belonged, within. It always happens the same way, quietly, unexpectedly. One day she sees you again, maybe on social media, maybe in public, maybe through a mutual friend. But something feels different. You look calm, centered, unreachable. And it hits her. The version of you that used to chase, that used to overthink, that used to need her, is gone. That moment is powerful, not because you won, but because you've finally detached. You've evolved beyond her emotional gravity. You're no longer orbiting her approval. You're your own sun now. And trust me, she feels it. She'll look at you and sense something she can't explain. That inner stillness, that masculine calm, that quiet presence that can't be faked. Because most men glow up on the surface, new clothes, new car, new lifestyle. But you transformed from the inside out. You didn't chase status, you built substance. And the irony is brutal. She'll realize that your silence wasn't weakness, it was evolution. That the man she left is no longer the man standing in front of her now. You've become refined, measured, stoic. The type of man who doesn't seek validation. He creates it through his actions. And here's what no one tells you. When a woman senses that shift, it shakes her to her core. Because she's used to seeing men crumble. She's not used to seeing them rise. That's when the texts might come. The subtle, "Hey stranger," the sudden likes, the random comments. But now, you don't react. Not because you're bitter, but because you're busy. Because you've built a life that no longer has space for emotional inconsistency. You've become the mountain. She's the echo. And while she's trying to get your attention back, you're already deep into your mission, building, evolving, leveling up. You no longer need her validation. You've built your own kingdom. And when you reach that point, when she finally notices that you're gone for good, she'll realize the truth. She didn't lose a man. She lost a force of nature. There's a power few men ever discover, the power of becoming unreachable. It doesn't happen overnight. It's forged in silence, discipline, and the decision to never again make your peace negotiable. At first, it feels lonely. You'll have days where you question if she ever cared, nights when you almost break the silence. But with each temptation you resist, something inside you shifts. You start realizing that the power you thought she took was yours all along. Becoming unreachable isn't about blocking her. It's about transcending her emotional access. She no longer controls your mood. Her opinions no longer shape your self-worth. Her absence no longer disturbs your calm. You're no longer ignoring her. You're simply beyond her frequency. You've outgrown the chaos, the overthinking, the emotional games. You've reached a state where her validation means nothing, because your purpose means everything. The Stoics lived by one truth. A man who controls himself can't be controlled by others. That's what being unreachable really means. It's not arrogance, it's self-ownership. You're no longer a participant in the emotional economy of attention and reaction. You've gone from being reactive to being sovereign, and the moment she senses that, when she realizes her words no longer move you, her absence no longer phases you, her silence no longer stings, she'll feel something she never expected to: respect. Because deep down, even if she never admits it, every woman respects a man who can walk away in peace and never look back. Unreachability isn't about hiding. It's about ascending. It's about standing so high in your self-respect that her games can't reach your altitude. You're not cold, you're calm. You're not bitter, you're balanced. You're not avoiding, you're evolving. You've built such a fortress of self-worth that her presence or absence doesn't change the temperature inside. And that, brother, that's divine masculine energy, because the truth is, once you become unreachable, she can't get you back. She can only remember you. And that memory will echo louder than any reply ever could. There's a moment in every man's journey where he finally understands. It was never about getting her back. It was about getting himself back. That's the Stoic king mindset. The mindset of a man who no longer seeks, he becomes. Who no longer chases, he creates. Who no longer begs to be loved, because he's built a life that radiates love through discipline, strength, and calm. When you reach this stage, everything changes. You wake up at peace. You move with purpose. You speak less, but your energy says everything. You no longer try to convince anyone of your worth. You embody it. Marcus Aurelius ruled the known world, yet still reminded himself daily, it's possible to be invincible if you enter no contest in which it isn't your choice to engage. That's what you've become. Invincible. You no longer enter emotional battles that don't serve your growth. You no longer trade your peace for attention. You've outgrown the need to prove anything. You understand that women, love, loss, they're all chapters in your evolution, not the meaning of your existence. She left? Good. It taught you detachment. You hurt? Good. It taught you strength. You healed? Good. It taught you wisdom. Now you walk differently, not arrogantly, but calmly. You move with purpose. You speak with weight. You radiate a peace that makes people stop and stare, because they can feel it, that unshakable energy that only comes from surviving yourself. You've become a Stoic king, not because you conquered others, but because you conquered your impulses, your reactions, your mind. And when she, or anyone from your past, sees you again, it won't be about revenge. It'll be about reflection. She'll see in you what she couldn't handle, a man who no longer seeks validation because he's found enlightenment through pain. You don't need her to regret losing you. Life already taught her. You don't need her to see your worth. You finally do. That's what it means to be a Stoic king, to live by inner law, to walk through storms and remain still, to never chase, only evolve. Like this video, subscribe, and comment below. I no longer seek, I evolve. Thank you for watching, brother. You are no longer the man she left. You are the man she'll never replace. Welcome to the Stoic army.